What's good everyone, Dom's here. In this video, I'm going to talk about getting UGC jobs or video presenting jobs. Now, before you start applying and looking for jobs, one thing you need to understand is that most UGC jobs look for certain characters, just like in movies and TV shows. They want a face that represents their product or service, and that has to be a certain gender, certain age, certain character type. You can't represent every kind of service or product. But the good thing is that there are a lot of kind of products and services looking for a lot of kinds of characters. Now, sometimes they don't specify the gender, the age, or a specific character. They just mention a characteristic, just like in this invitation to an interview. Now, the good thing about these kinds of descriptions is that, for example, charismatic doesn't have to be your core personality, right? It's a job. If you have a knack for acting or talent, or you're an actor, you can act charismatic. And this can be true for a lot of other kinds of jobs as well. If they're looking for authoritative, funny, boring, childish, these are all characteristics or genres that you can act out. So even if you're a very shy person in real life, but you can act very confident on camera, you got the jobs, or at least a chance of getting it, even if your core personality doesn't fit the job description. Now back to finding the actual jobs. The main websites are Upwork and Fiverr, where you can register yourself as a freelancer providing a service. I personally mostly use Upwork. In fact, I kind of only use Upwork, so that's where I'm going to put the main focus in this video, but I'll also talk a bit about the other one. Now, apart from these freelancer websites, you can also find job posts on casting sites like Backstage or in Facebook groups where they look for actors or characters for movies, advertisements, social media videos, or online ads like UGC videos. And then there are also, of course, dedicated UGC agencies where you can basically register yourself or get casted to their database, and then they'll send you jobs. But first and foremost, let me talk about Upwork. I've been working on Upwork for the past 7 years, and I find it the most secure and most professional site. It's super simple to use it. Of course, you have to go through a sign-up process, but after that, you can start using it and getting jobs. So basically, with Upwork, you create an account, and in order to be verified, you go through a video or audio interview where you present a few details about your stuff you already gave during sign-up. After you sign up, you create your profile. In your profile, you can add pictures, a biography, set up your skills, upload certificates. For example, if you did a course in, say, video editing and Upwork approves it, you can put that up. If you did other projects before, you can upload those. Give them a description, what your role was, what the job was about. You can also create portfolios, upload footage of yourself, pictures, like I said, and introductions that you can use as references. And references are super important because when you apply for a job and people check your profile, you want to have something to show. But like I said, these references doesn't have to be Upwork projects. For example, I used to be a hobby video creator. I mean, I still am, but I had a YouTube channel where I did skits and sketches. So at the beginning, that was my portfolio. When people asked me to show something I edited, that's what I showed them. If they wanted to see me on camera, same thing. So you can create a little portfolio package for yourself just to have something on Upwork. Now, when you're setting up your profile, you also have to select your field. What kind of jobs are you interested in? Then on your Upwork feed, you'll see jobs related to those expertise. Now, there are also projects or gigs where you can create a package, like a job for $100 or $200, and specify what the client gets for that. Now, I don't use those because I think each project has a lot of aspects to consider before setting a price or saying yes, but it's an option nonetheless. So how do you actually apply to a job? On Upwork, you have to buy connects. Now, what are these? These are basically tokens that you use to apply for jobs. They're really not expensive. You can get dozens for a few dollars. And you can also have subscriptions on Upwork where you get more per month for the subscription fee. So you find jobs related to your expertise. You read the job description, see what price they offer. Sometimes they don't put a price. They want to discuss that later. Sometimes they set an hourly rate or propose an hourly rate. If you like the job and if you think it's something that you could do, you click on Submit Proposal. Here you propose a fee, send a cover letter where you talk about yourself, your skills, why you're a good fit for the project, and obviously you share some references. In another video, I go into more detail about writing a winning proposal on Upwork, so you can check that video out right over here. Once you've done a few jobs in Upwork, you can highlight those projects and include the feedback in your proposals. And you can also use more connects to boost your proposal so it ranks higher. Now, most of the time you won't get a response. It's like acting. You go to 1,000 audition and most of the time you don't get the job. But sometimes they do respond and you get into a conversation about the job, what it actually involves. They might send you a script to review. They might ask you to do a test job, sometimes paid, usually it isn't. And this part is super important because sometimes they're very vague with their job descriptions. They just say, looking for a UGC creator or a video spokesperson, but they don't mention the product or service. But obviously you need to know what you're giving your face to. Now, if you and the client agree, they set up a contract and the job begins. You do the job, you'll probably have a deadline. You send the file, they review, they approve, or they ask for a revision, and then you get paid. And then later you can transfer your money to your bank account or to your PayPal account or other money services. So that's basically it in a nutshell on Upwork. If you look through my feed here, there are tons of jobs, not just UGC or video presenting, but also video editing jobs because I have that skill listed too. And Upwork also complies with tax regulation based on your country. It's safe. I've never really encountered a scam because Upwork is really good at filtering them. And since clients have to be verified with their payment methods, and you also have to be verified, it's a very safe and closed environment. So for example, you can share phone numbers, you can share email addresses because Upwork will immediately spot it, send you a message that you're going against their guidelines and you can get blocked. That being said, obviously sometimes there are people that try to scam you with certain jobs, but usually they're easy to spot. Now, I think it's common sense, but when you're just starting out, it's better to start with cheaper jobs, except that you might not earn much at first. Do a few lower paid jobs, build your references, and that's better than getting no work at all. But that's obvious. So, all right, moving on to Fiverr. Fiverr works in pretty much the opposite way as Upwork. The main way Upwork works is that clients post jobs that freelancers can send proposals to, or clients can invite freelancers to send a proposal to their jobs. On Fiverr, freelancers post gigs. You create a gig, you specify details, how much it costs, what's included, what extras they get if they pay more. It's like online shopping. You browse and you buy. That's basically Fiverr. It's an exhibition of freelancers that you can buy services from. Now, it is a well-functioning system and then a lot of people use it. But personally, I don't use it because it takes time to build a strong portfolio on one platform and managing two is just extra effort. And like I said, I built up my portfolio on Upwork. And also in my little experience, there are more scams on Fiverr. For example, a few months ago, I updated my account and right away I started getting messages from people interested in my gig. I thought, great, I'm about to make bank. But they turned out to be scams. People trying to get my personal info by saying there is an issue while ordering, and it's demotivating. And you can also get trapped. Your data could get stolen. So yeah, that's also why I prefer Upwork. But if you know Fiverr better or you've heard good things, go for it. I'm not here to discourage you. It works and you can definitely get UGC jobs there. I just don't have much personal experience with it. Now, other platforms for UGC or presenting jobs include casting sites like Backstage. It's one I'm registered to, but on Backstage, for example, in order for you to be able to apply to a job, you have to have a subscription that costs money. And here I'll show you the feed real quick. They post acting jobs, voiceover jobs, crew jobs, modeling jobs, and also creator jobs. For example, here's a UGC job that was just shared. So they do look for UGC creators there as well. I've never actually gotten a UGC job through Backstage, partly because I don't have a strong portfolio there and also because I don't apply to them. But very often they're more specific with location. They might need you to be based in the US or UK or wherever, or in a specific city. They might need you to be a native speaker. On Upwork, there's more flexibility. They don't always look for native speakers. In some cases they do, in some cases they do need you to be based in the US, but often what they want is strong English skills and someone who can speak clearly in English. And I think that's really good because that opens up the opportunities for a lot of people For instance, I'm not a native speaker and I only work in English. But again, it all boils down to the platform you invest your time and effort into. There are Facebook groups for film jobs, acting jobs, etc. And these groups often have casting calls. Casting companies, agencies, casting directors, or UGC agencies post jobs in there, so they might recruit you that way too. But yeah, those are the platforms I use or keep an eye on when it comes to getting jobs. I recommend checking them out, see what works in your country or what appeals to you. You could start building a portfolio on more than one and see which takes off. But I personally recommend Upwork just because that's what I use. And in future videos, I'm going to share more tips about Upwork and working on Upwork. But if you found this video useful, don't forget to subscribe. And if you're interested in UGC video creation or video presenting, hit the thumbs up button as well. I really appreciate it. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you later, guys.